Yeah, man, this is another series that I seen on Netflix that I thought was fire. That I don't really see a lot of people talking about. This one's called The Manhattan Alien Abduction. It's a Netflix doc series that's 3 episodes and about 45 minutes about an alleged abduction that happened on November 30th, 1989. First off, the cover pictures what got it for me. It popped up on my Netflix and it just caught my attention. Some lady in the air going into a spaceship. I was like, bet I'm gonna see this when it dropped. So, like I said, this is a doc series. Was basically it's a doc series, but it's basically beef between a lady named Linda, who said she was abducted, and Carol, a lady that said Linda is basically capping. So Linda said the alien knocked her out, pulled her out of her apartment, and she was suspended into the air in the middle of the night in New York. That already sounds crazy, but there were witnesses, over 20 of them, which in the show said that was the most witnesses that were ever reported during an abduction. Carol's husband, who was a UFO investigator, which is wild to me, that's a real title. I wonder if they really got paid for that. Linda contacted him and they chopped it up. Also, her husband was doing a book about that actual abduction. Um, Her husband also did a repressed hypnosis on Linda, trying to get information from from her about her abduction while she was unconscious. Carol made an observation that Linda was very alert during her hypnosis, which normally people aren't, and suspected her to be lying. I think that was a dope thing that she peeped because when people are under hypnosis, Carol was saying that they was like in a drunk state, stirring their words. They were just like not really focused and wasn't, it was hard for them to talk. But she noticed that Linda was very alert and saying very clear sentences in what she talked. That was a good observation. Also, a little fame came with the abduction. They even went on Oprah. Linda said that even her that people came to her house, two agents, and she started to get mic'd up. So while she was mic'd up one day, she said that she got kidnapped while she was mic'd up in the back of a car, and then they let her out. Then a lot of wild things was happening allegedly to her after the abduction. I think because of the fame and around 1990s, might have been crazy. Um, Even her kid had an encounter with the alien allegedly. So Carol noticed that a lot of things wasn't added up, and when it came to her attention, she just started to be very aware of it. Carol was also the cameraman for her husband, who was reporting a lot of alien abductions and was trying to write a book on Linda. Um, One of the things Linda said that she was getting letters from the two agents or cops that actually knocked on her door that was acting very weird. So what Carol did, she went to a forensics. Um, she went to forensics to examine handwriting, and she got also handwriting from Linda. And the forensic person determined that um, the letters was coming from Linda. It was the same type of handwriting. Um, and she started to suspect her husband of not being really real. And Carol was like she wanted her husband to be real, and she's a seeker of the truth, so she wasn't feeling it like that. Um, that's also when Carol started to call out her husband. But like I said, she was the cameraman for her husband, and she was recording and documenting as much as she can, and even suspected that her husband was making a lot of this up just to get his book off. And it was crazy that he was even writing a book based upon this, but Carol was just way too on it. Carol was just on it. They called Carol a skeptic. Actually in the documentary, and I'm kind of rocking with Carol because a lot of things wasn't adding up, and you got to provide evidence. I'm like, dang, maybe I'm a skeptic too. So yeah, man, it's a good 3 episode thing. It opens the conversation about if you have it amongst your friends, aliens real. Can this happen? And a lot of people said, they had similar things. Also, Linda had like a little weird thing in her nose. Don't know where she got it from. So the aliens abducted her, put something in her nose, brought her back. I don't know. But what do you guys think? Do you think that Linda was telling the truth? Did she get abducted, or do you side with Carol, who's saying that she was capping, provide proof? She said that this is a spoiler. This is a spoiler. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to see it, so you can skip this part. But Carol is basically saying that, yo, you just a bored housewife, and you made this whole thing up. so the question goes is how did she make it up with 23 other witnesses? But I think they should dig into was Linda, did she have money? You know what I'm saying? 'Cause if you got money, you could do anything. But I do kind of side with Carol. I think she was a bored housewife, because she was a singer back in the day, and she chose her husband, over the career. So sound like she was bored. Man, so what do you guys think, man? But it's a cool documentary if you're into that stuff. And it's a real thing. November 3rd, 1989, she said she got abducted, but there's no proof. So, yeah, check it out, man. It's a dope thing on Netflix to watch.